Chernitsky, director of Chabad of Newfoundland, together with my wife Tuba, the people's rabbi. Delighted to be with you again tonight as we continue learning about tzedakah. We are learning from a holy book called She'arit Tzedakah, which is a collection of the Lubavitcher Rebbe's talks, essays, letters about tzedakah. So we were in the middle of a letter. We're in the middle of one of the Rebbe's talks. And we're going to be picking up from the subsection number 2, base, as you see here on the screen. So what we had spoken about last time was that there's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Ethics of the Fathers, that it's a bit troublesome. What happens is the Mishnah says that there's 4 attitudes in giving tzedakah, and there's 4 attitudes in going to the house of study. What are the 4 attitudes? Number 1, somebody who wants to give but others shouldn't give, that others should give but he shouldn't give. And then number 3, that nobody should give, not him and not anybody else. And number 4, that everybody should give. He should give, others should give. So the Rebbe asks like this. 1 second. The Mishnah just said there's 4 attitudes in giving. But the Mishnah says there's a person who says I shouldn't be giving. And no one else should give. So is he giving? Is he not giving? And the same thing with the next part of the Mishnah speaks about people that go to the house of study, the Beis Medrash. And the Mishnah says similar things. Somebody is a person who goes, doesn't study. Somebody who studies, goes and studies. Somebody who doesn't go, studies at home. It's a person who does neither. So 1 second. We just said there's 4 attitudes about the people that go. Now we tell me there's somebody who doesn't go. So which one is it? That was question number 1 that we finished with. And question number 2 is that since Pirkei Avos, the Ethics of the Fathers, deals with what's called the Milei de Chasidusa, matters of piety. We're not speaking about keeping the basic laws, speaking about somebody who goes beyond the letter of the law. That's what it means to be a Chassid, pious person, somebody that's more than what's required. So why do we have here in Pirkei Avos, Milei de Chasidusa, matters of piety, something which seems to be dealing with the main obligation of giving tzedakah, or the main obligation of going to a house of study. Again, we're not speaking here to somebody who needs a reminder, needs to be encouraged to do more than to do the minimum. We're speaking to somebody who's doing more than the minimum. So let's see it inside. And this is the answer. In the 4 attitudes that the Mishnah discusses, including all of the possibilities, includes all of the Jewish people. And the novelty in this Mishnah, that every person is considered somebody who gives tzedakah and somebody who goes to the house of study, Beis Medrash. Meaning to say, maybe somebody who's in a situation that he feels that he shouldn't give, others shouldn't give with regards to tzedakah, and or he doesn't go to a house of study, and he does not study at home. Since he's also a Jew, since he's a Jew, he's counted those that actually give tzedakah and those that actually go to the house of study. Because what's his true desire? Desire, who is lihiyos meIsrael, to be a Jew, to be part of the Jewish people. And to do all mitzvahs is a quote from the Rambam, how every Jew, even if externally doesn't look like he wants to, really deep inside of himself, he does want to do all the mitzvot and do what Hashem wants. So אפילו מחיצונית בגלוי נמצא עדיין במצב שלא ייתם לדרכים, even internally, in a revealed way, he seems to be in a situation that he feels that he should not give tzedakah and others should not give, and also he doesn't go to house of study and doesn't stay home. Therefore, even if it's such a situation that he's not giving, and if it's not, others should not give either, he does not go to the house of study and he does not study at home. He should not get depressed, and give up hope, God forbid. Because as far as his inner will, who he really is, he is also amongst those that give tzedakah. He's also amongst those that go to the Beis Medrash. But for sure, current situation when he doesn't want to give and others should not give either. He doesn't go to the house of study and he doesn't study. God forbid, Shekain, because indeed, Kavanas a Mishnah, the intent behind this Mishnah, Toida, Beira, Brura, which is a teaching Toida and a clear instruction. So why is the Mishnah tell us that these guys also consider one amongst those who give tzedakah, among those who go to the house of study? He pile upon himself, should affect upon himself that this inner desire should be revealed. He should become amongst those who actually give tzedakah, amongst those who actually go to the house of study. And not just that, Ella rather it's all for kinds. Arba midas for attitudes Mishnah discusses. They're all in one continuation. Move and it's understood. There's some comparison and connection one to the other relevance. That even the guy who right now is at the lowest level, he feels he shouldn't give, another should not give either. He does not go to the house of study and he doesn't study. He has the strength, the ability, and automatically, therefore, it's upon him, it's incumbent upon him to reach the ultimate state of completion. The Arba Midas, all of these four attitudes, reach the highest attitude. That he should give, another should give, and that is the attitude of a chassid, a pious man. And also with regard to the house of study, he'll become one of those that go to the house of study and actually study. Chassid, which the Mishnah says he's a pious person, and that is why this is stated here in Pirkei Avos, that this with matters of piety, because we want this person to become pious as well. Subsection Gimel. And the lesson instruction for the highest level here, the guy that says, I'm going to give, others should give, and the Mishnah calls him pious. He goes to the house of study. He studies, he's a chassid, pious person. After a person reaches the highest level of learning Torah and giving tzedakah, so as far as acting as a pious person, he cannot suffice with his current situation. Rather, he has to increase and go up more. As the Mishnah says, the Gemara says, that we go up in matters of holiness, in studying Torah and giving tzedakah. Not just that, rather, that he is part of all the other attitudes, all the other levels in giving tzedakah and going to the house of study. Arba midas, which comes to emphasize that the necessity and the compelling need to add and go up applies to all four attitudes, even the highest one. Meaning to say, just like the person in the lowest level who says, I'm going to give tzedakah and others should not be giving. I say he doesn't go to the house of study and he doesn't study. Pshita, right? Which is obvious then. That it's forbidden for him to remain such a low level. And he has to go up to a higher level. Likewise, somebody who's at a higher level, at the highest level that Mishnah mentions, that he wants to give, and others feels others should be giving as well, that he's a pious person. Somebody goes to the house of study and studies, he's a pious person. Also, is also for him to remain his current state. Whether he is to add and go up in matters of holiness. And if this person does not go up in matters of holiness, then God forbid, this is very serious and depends on his actual standing. Because then it would be like somebody who remains in the lowest level. He, person who says, I'm not going to give it, I should not be giving. The guy who doesn't go to the house of study and he doesn't study. So though he's in the highest level, if he doesn't go up and always push himself higher, he's like the person that's in the lowest level, which is a terrible thing. Now we're going to enter a new section, Chiyuv Anesina, the obligation of giving and the ways of giving. Let's see, now we can do this. Here we go. Subsection Lamed 30, Chiyuv Ha'afrasha Agam Kshe'inani. This is the obligation to separate money for tzedakah even when there's no poor person around. Inside the text. Harambam Kaisev Seder Parshas Frashas Maisen. The Rambam Maimonides writes about the order of separating the tithes from fruits and vegetables in Lando. After separating the first tithe, there's also something called Meiser Sheni, the second tithe. But it changes by the years. By the third and sixth year of the 7-year Shemitah cycle, you don't take Meiser Sheni. What do you take? Mafrishin Meiser Ani. You separate the tithe for the poor. As the Maimonides speaks at length how it has to be specifically done in this order. First was known as Meiser Rishon, a tithe that goes to the Levites, and then Meiser Sheni or Meiser Ani if it's the third or sixth year of the Shemitah cycle. For the words of Maimonides that he says we need to separate mafrishin, is understood that the separation has to be specific in such a way, but not so the actual giving. The giving could be done in a different way, but these are you separated. Which is a novelty with regards to the tithe for the poor. With regards to all the other tithes, some explain some say the main thing is to separate and not to give it. Because by separating the tithes, then the grain is not considered tevel, which is grain that tithes weren't separated from it, you're not allowed to eat it. And in particular here, Meiser Sheni, that you don't give it to anybody else, you have to eat it in Jerusalem. But the tithe that goes to the poor. She gathered and seen which is like giving tzedakah. Similarly, the main thing by Meiser Ani, by tithe of the poor is that what? The poor person should receive it, and then you should give him life, and he could buy food, etc. Or you are giving him food. But became nevertheless, mashma implied from the words of Maimonides, that just separating it is an essential thing, even if we never give it to him, or later on you give it to him. Which is there's a lesson and a significant something that's actually relevant to us and to Jewish law. Even if we're in a situation where there's no poor person, the gamblei gabay tzedakah, not even a collector for tzedakah that will give it to the poor person. Nevertheless, you still have the obligation to separate Meiser Ani, the tithe of the poor. But the Nechsei movement we're going to tzedakah, so to the tzedakah, she'afrish me reminded tzedakah, she separate from reminded to tzedakah, with dam tzadishonim asem bepoil, and then as soon as you can, the first opportunity, then you will give it over to the poor. Let's do one more. Benidana prutois letzedakah regarding the coins for tzedakah. שלפעמים שכח ושאינו נמצא בביס. Sometimes you forget to give or sometimes you don't have coins at home. וכמדום שכבר כסבתי לא זה בפירוש, and it seems I already wrote to you about this explicitly. תאכלי זה באופן זה בלי נדר. Now when you give every day, tzedakah should be בלי נדר, without the obligation of a vow. Because we know that doing a mitzvah 3 times, even without having in mind there should be a vow, if you did not say or think that there should be bli neder without the power of a vow, then it would be actually binding like a vow in Jewish law, which is quite serious. But if you didn't do that, then you should be mater neder, annul the vow in front of a court of 3 people. And then from then on, do it without the obligation of a vow. So too, it's understood that tzedakah in a diglas is a prut takef of kupa should tzedakah sitam takef yandani. The idea is not to right away put the coins in the box, tzedakah box, or to right away give it to the poor. Because both things are not ready, prepared, available. Then you leave the money in a special envelope, etc. But and that's something you could do even when you're traveling and not at home. So you see, that's important, just even to separate the money they're going to give to charity for tzedakah, even if you don't give it to charity in actuality right away. We're going to stop here for today. I'm Rabbi Chernitsky again, director of Chabad in Newfoundland. It's been a pleasure. If you want to check out our website, you want to send us a message, rabbinewfoundland@gmail.com. The website, guess what it is? rabbinewfoundland.com. Have a good evening, safe summer.